Perfect. We're going to start this morning just standing up. So just need one block for a little bit later on. Stand about midway down the mat. Just practice mountain pose. So you can have the feet in different sort of settings. I prefer to have my feet a little wider. So I take a sort of a wide hip version and turn the palms forwards. Close my eyes. Let the shoulders roll back a little bit. Start to draw the pelvis back towards the back of the mat. So I'm already testing whether I'm setting the weight into the toes or the heels. And a little bit of movement from side to side, starting to feel the side of the feet as well. Slowing the breath down. Trying to find a place where I can stand tall with the least amount of effort, which really requires a change of attitude to how you sit into joints and how you work muscles. The cleanest line through the body for weight distribution is straight line from the crown of the head through the feet. That's what we're aiming for. If your eyes close, you're taking one of your major senses away. So your body has to work quite a lot harder, giving you feedback to where you actually are. I'll open the eyes gently, bring the hands in towards the heart. Nice long breath in, draw the belly in as you slowly exhale forwards. Just see how that lower back feels. Allow yourself to bend your knees when you need to. Bring the hands down to the floor. So fingertips will do. Let's see if we can get ribs on thighs. I'm not really worrying about how big the bend in the legs requirement is first thing in the morning. See how the weight distribution feels in both legs. Is it even? Do you notice any bias to one side? And then we'll walk the hands forwards. We'll come into cat-cow, just easing the knees back down. Drawing the chest forwards, letting the shoulders roll back a little bit. Draw the belly in at this point as you breathe in. And then you draw it in a little more as you exhale. Let the spine round up towards the sky. Inhale forwards, just letting the chin follow the heart. Take that into some barrel rolls. So just taking it out left and right, rolling it around. Let the shoulders and elbows move as much as you need or prefer. And we'll take it in the opposite direction. And we'll come into neutral. Going to sit back down, knees a little wider apart, child's pose, lengthen the body out, elbows off the ground. Take a breath in and straight away we take it into a side bend over to the right. And we'll accompany that with a drawing over to the left. And come back into the center. Back up onto all fours. Going to take a little bit more weight through the hands now. So make sure we draw the shoulders back a little bit. Get that neutral spine, knees underneath hips. And then we'll slowly take the right foot to the back of the mat. Just lengthen that leg out behind us. Now you're going to slowly lift the right foot off the ground. It's about the height of the hip. Allow yourself to bend the knee as you take your left hand away, palm facing in, out in front. A little crunch, so make a fist. Draw the right knee into the chest. Take the hand back towards the hip. Lengthen out. Keep the bend in the knee the whole time. Keep it constant. Draw it in. And back out. Just try to keep the belly drawn in the whole time so you don't sag into sort of a dropped spine. Let's see more. Obviously trying to keep ourselves balanced. Last one. And lengthen everything out this time, bring it back to the floor. Whew. Left leg tucks under. Toes and stretch out. Again, just make sure your shoulders are over your wrists before you lift the leg. And slowly lift that up. Bend your knee as you take your hand away. Lengthen out. Draw it in, squeeze. Lengthen. Last one. And bring everything back. We'll sit down onto the heels. And allow ourselves to take the hands out to the side. And bring palms above the head. Hands through the heart. Float it out nice and wide. Come forwards again. Tuck the toes underneath to stretch those toes out. Sit up if you can. Keep the hands on the floor if not. And then back down onto all fours as you release the toes. We'll tuck the toe on the right foot underneath again, lengthen the leg out. Let the leg lift, keep the belly drawn in. Left hand comes out, right knee bends, and then we swoop that left arm out to the side. We come into the Superman twist. So just letting the eyes come back to find the foot, and then opening out the chest, pressing out through the shin. And release everything back down to the floor. Take a breath here. On the next exhale, tuck the toes on the left leg. Send that back. Again, just make sure you're nice and steady over your wrists. Lift the foot. Right yourself to bend the knee. Right hand lifts out. Slowly swing out to the side. Look all the way back. Find your foot in the air. And then press it out as you connect. And we can release everything back down to the floor. Take a breath. On the inhale, tuck the toes underneath, and we'll move into down dog. We'll walk that out a little bit. Just take the hands nice and flat to the floor. Give that nice slow stretch underneath the feet, into the calves, back of the knee. Let's see how the glutes feel this morning after a weekend of activities. They're a little stiff. Remember, that's going to affect your forward fold if that's the case, if it's tight. And we'll bring the hands gently towards the toes. So back of the mat into a forward fold. And then hands onto the hips. Soft knees and lengthen up. Shake it all out a little. So we come up to the front of the mat. And with the feet about hip distance apart. Inhale high with the hands. Join them together. Hands into the heart. Exhale down to the floor. Lean into the toes and soften the knees so the thighs start to work for us. We'll take the right leg back. And the left leg. We'll come forwards into a plank. Half plank. Take the up dog. Lengthen the legs away. Roll it slowly back into down dog. We'll draw the right knee into the chest, bring the foot through on the exhale. So taking the lunge second side, press out through the heels. And then off of the toes into a forward fold. Hands onto the hips and a slow lift up. Inhale high. Hands through the heart. Exhale down to the floor, draw the belly in a little. Take the left foot back into lunge. And bring the hands to the floor, step back into plank. Come forwards into the half. Bootlaces change, up dog. Exhale into down dog. So we're holding the up dog. You really want to lengthen the legs away. So you're feeling like you're lengthening the spine rather than dumping down and just hanging into the lower back. So there's a little different emphasis.
Very strong pose. Takes a bit of practice to get used to firing the whole of the anterior side of the body up. Draw that left knee into the chest, bring it through into the lunge. And then press off the toes, forward fold. Bring the hands onto the hips and slowly lengthen ourselves up. Just take a moment here to breathe. Hands in towards the heart. Eyes closed again. Just feel the toes stretching out underneath. And we'll let the eyes open. Just shake out a little bit. Okay, feet are hip distance apart. Take the breath in, raise the arms to the sky. Hands into the heart and exhale down to the floor. This time we'll take the right foot back, ready for warrior two. So dropping the heel in. Hands alongside the body or onto the front thigh you choose. Using your peripheral vision to check your front knee is over ankle. Feeling the back leg press out, long, thigh muscles lift a little bit. We'll float the hands to the sky as we breathe in. Exhale down to the floor. Stepping back into down dog. We'll draw the right knee into the chest. Bring the foot to the outside of the right hand. Take the right hand forwards into the twist, lift up. Ease the hand back down to the floor. Step it back into plank, half plank, up dog, to down dog. I'll take the left leg in this time to the chest, bring the foot through. Push off the toes, forward fold, sinking deep. Hands onto the hips, lift up. Inhale high, hands to the heart. Exhale down to the floor. And step back, left leg, ready for warrior two. Remember the choice is there for you for where you place the hands. A chance to connect to your tailbone, to point that down towards the floor. Use that to draw the abdominals in a little. Take the hands high as we breathe in. Float down to the floor. Step it back into our down dog. So his left leg draws into the chest. The foot comes to the outside of the left hand. The left hand lifts and twists. Still pressing out through the back heel. Hand comes down to the floor. We step back into our down dog. Into plank. Half plank. So up dog. Sneaked in an extra up down dog there for you. And then lift into down dog finally. And we'll draw the right knee into the chest, bring the foot through. Step it into the forward fold. Hands come to the hips. And a slow lift up. Finish with the hands to the sky and into the heart. And just shake it out gently. We'll step back into about the middle of the mat. Now we're going to come into Warrior 3 from a standing position and then bring the fingers to the floor out in front of us. And that will put a small bit of a bend into the knee. We're going to try and stay in the Warrior 3 position and then pulse the standing leg a few times, about 5 times. And then we'll bring ourselves back into forward standing fold. So bring the hands in towards the heart. Have your feet about hip distance apart. We'll work with the right leg to start with. So we'll shift the weight, find a point to focus on the floor in front. Allow yourself to draw the left knee to about the height of the hip. Just softening the right knee a little. You're going to hinge forwards and start to kick out with the left leg. We'll bring the fingers gently to the floor. Just on the fingertips, keeping the back leg lifted. Going to soften the front knee as we exhale. Inhale, lengthen the leg out. Just being careful not to jam into the back of the knee. So it's a slow pulse down to 2. And lift. We're going to try and keep the foot that's extended out in line with the hips the whole time. So that's our guide point. Toes are pointing down. That's number 4. And number 5. And then we'll draw the left knee back in towards the body. Put the foot to the floor. Line it up nice and carefully. Bring the hands onto the hips, soften the knees, and lift up. The hands high again, into the heart. Find your point to focus ahead on the floor. Shift the weight into the left leg. Start to bring the right knee high. Slowly hinge forwards. Allow yourself to kick out when you feel ready. Spread the toes a little bit on that extended leg. You'll be surprised how much it helps. Now we'll bring the hands gently down to the floor. So just onto the fingertips. And then we'll soften the front knee. For 1. For 2. 3. 4. And 5. And draw the right knee gently in, bring the foot to the floor, place it carefully. Once the weight is stabilized, bring the hands onto the hips, soft knees and lift up. And shake it away. We'll come back up to the front of the mat. Bring the hands in towards the heart as we take a breath in. Exhale forwards. And down to the floor. Take a little breath. I'll step the left foot back into lunge. Right foot back into plank. Half plank. Relations change. Up dog. Back to down dog on the exhale. We'll draw the feet a little closer to the center line, so toes touch. And allow the right leg to lift up into a scissor. And then we'll bend the knee, bring the heel in towards the buttock. Take the knee out to the side. Draw it into the chest. The thighs kind of line up, and then we'll take that knee up again and out to the side. So we're circling the knee out to the side and then drawing it forwards. Keeping the foot flexed and the heel in towards the buttock. One more time. And then bring the foot down to the floor. And take a little breath. And then we'll take that left leg high into the scissor. Bend the knee. Flex the foot. Draw the knee out to the side and forwards, and in towards the chest. Kick it back. Out to the side. Hands are slipping. Maybe it's my foot, I'm not sure. Something's getting a bit longer in the pose. We're trying to maintain that down dog shape. 2 more revolutions. Nice and slow. So I'm trying to find the maximum stretch that's available to us. And then bring the foot down. Come forwards, knees to the ground. Coming into child's pose, we're going to take the hands towards the toes, head to the floor. Breathe deep into the ribs. Let the shoulders soften. And then we'll bring the hands forward again. Take a little lift. I'm going to come back into down dog. So shoulders over wrists, knees drawn back. Extend the legs out slowly into the plank and then lift up into the down dog. Again, we'll bring the toes onto the center line. We'll draw the right knee into the chest. This time we're going to come into pigeon pose. So we'll take the right knee to the outside, the right elbow. Bring the heel underneath the body and lay down gently. Now lengthen the back leg as far away as we can, and then walk the hands out, shoulder distance apart. And lay down onto that front side. And walk the hands back in. And we'll move back into down dog. We'll rearrange the feet from the center line. And then when you're ready, we'll draw the left knee in to the elbow, heel under, walk that back leg out. So stretch it out, get it as long as you can. Hands are shoulder distance apart, maybe a little wider. Slide the fingers out, get as low as you dare. We're trying to lengthen the back foot away. Trying to lengthen the spine out. Shoulders drawing forwards a little bit. And then we start to lift. Walk ourselves slowly back up. And as we do, we're not going to come into down dog this time. We're just going to roll over to the left side so we can bring the right foot through. And as we do that, we'll slide the block underneath the bottom behind us so that we're straight into Dandasana. The legs out in front, feet are together, feet flex back. You sit up nice and tall, all the shoulders out a little bit. Take a little breath from here. We'll draw the right foot into the groin. So the foot stays flexed, the toes are pointing forwards, the knees out to the side. We square the hips a little bit, rotate the thigh in. On the long leg, flex the foot, a little bend into the knee. Lift up the spine, folding the pelvis over the thighs. So think about it coming from this point, just easing over. Doesn't have to be deep. Pressing the heel very lightly into the floor of the foot flex is going to engage that calf muscle, shin, thigh, and hamstring for you. So you don't have to go deep in this. But do see if you can then try and lengthen your body forward. So you keep working up and out. And then we'll release from there, use the fingers to come back. And we'll take it to the second side. And fold it over. Keeping the belly drawn in. Keep the hands on the shins or take the hands to the side. It's kind of personal choice. Remember to lift up and out. And then we'll release from there as well. Taking the legs back out again. Now we'll draw the right foot in and bring that underneath and out to the side. So we want to have the right knee pointing forwards. And we're going to draw the left foot back in. We're going to aim for more to sort of the outside hip area. So the knee's definitely outside. Foot is pointing forwards. You turn to your right and then press your knee and your arm on that left side together. So just working that outer hip, drawing it into the center line rather than taking it out to the side, just for a change. You can probably feel the difference in the glutes working.
Release from here and take it across to the other side. So it looks like it should be really comfortable, but because we do so much work, I think taking the legs out to the side, it still feels a little bit alien to us, a bit unusual. So again, that knee pointing forwards on the left side, hips are square. Take the foot out to hip, getting it nice and close. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of meeting of heels and ankles. And try and draw the knee in a little bit. It's off to turn to the left this time, bracing the right arm and leg. Just squeeze it in and press it out. So equal and opposite in effort. And noticing if it feels different on one side to the other. And then we'll release from there as well. Let the legs come out. We're going to come back down to the floor. So just taking the blocks out behind us. I'm going to use the hands to ease down to the floor. And just really finishing a little bit into these hips. We'll start to have the hands on top of the knees, making some big circles. And that little bit of tilt forwards and backwards through the lower spine. Maybe a couple of revolutions the opposite way. And then we'll bring the feet to the floor, close to the bottom. Take the arms out wide. We'll start with the left leg lifting, turning the toes to the outside edge, bending the knee and bringing the ankle to the outside of the thigh. And then let the knee travel forwards a little bit, keep the foot flexed. Slowly roll the legs over towards the right side and see if you can get that left foot to touch the ground. Keep both, well, keep the right foot, which is the bottom leg, hopefully, flexed. It took me all the time to describe it, let alone tell you what to do with it. And then on an exhale with control, you lift back up, try not to press into the shoulders and the arms. And then extend the leg up towards the sky, give a little shake out. Do the same on the opposite side. Turn the toes, ankles, and thighs meet, flex the foot, drift that right knee away, and then slowly over to the left as you exhale. Just using a little bit of control to get a nice soft landing, flexing the foot as you arrive. Knee points towards the sky on the bent leg. And again, slowly as you exhale, come back to the center. Let the leg lift up, breathe in. Bring the foot back down. Going to keep the arms out wide. Walk the feet in as close as you can, and then start to slide the soles of the feet together gently. The knees go out to the side. We get the little toes to touch.
And then bring the hands a little closer down by the side of the body. And just breathe. Eyes closed. Just let the tongue drift away from the roof of the mouth. And then take the hands gently underneath the back of the thighs. Use the fingers to start to press the legs together. And then once they're back up and raised, take the feet out wide. Find the edges of the mats. And then slide the heels down to the corner edges. Let the toes hang out, and then release the hands. And then we'll slowly start to work into the fingers and the toes. Wrists and ankles start to move a little. Breathe a little deeper. Stretch it out. Slide the heels back in, a leg at a time. Take that last little hug. And then we'll gently roll over on our right side. Take a breath down here. Use your exhale to lift slowly away from the floor. Roll yourself round. Nice and tall, hands in towards the heart as you take the breath in.
Closing the eyes, bowing the head, and gently bowing to the floor. Just draw the belly to the spine. Seal your practice. Inhale, let the spine lift with the breath, and then finally the head, eyes open. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Have a lovely week ahead.